This one mindset shift helped me crush it for my clients. I'm going to talk about what it is, and it's something that most people don't want to talk about, and that is when things are going badly, what do you do? A lot of people under pressure, and I used to be an events planner, like back in the day in another career before I was running this agency for 12 years. And the truth is when you're an event planner, all of the work goes into the event before the event actually happens, so that when the event happens, you can plan for putting out any fires. Now, not literal fires, but those figurative fires, I should say, that come up when you just didn't expect something to go wrong. But we're going to talk about what happens when your ads don't work or when you're not getting sales conversions. Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to step back and objectively audit everything that you've been doing. Try not to have any subjective opinion about the look, the feel, things like that. Really dive into the data. Really dive into, is your ad something that is congruent with your landing page? We're talking about ads right now. Is the landing page congruent with the PDP or the product description page? And how does it all flow together? Is your price too high? You can see this not from comparing other competitor prices, but rather really analyzing where in the funnel the customer drops off. Because if it's before they add the product to cart, you might have a price sensitivity issue. If it's after they add the product to cart and they're not checking out, maybe it's taxes or shipping, right? So there's multiple things that you can test, but the first thing you need to do is audit. The second thing you need to do is potentially get someone with new blood to come in and look at what you're doing. Now, I'm not saying you fire your existing agency. I mean, I'm not a fan of that. I'm a marketing agency, right? But maybe the agency has another person that's skilled. Like we have 10, 15 people on our team, right? So what I'm saying is ask another person who maybe doesn't work on the account what they think of the funnel. Have them go through it from start to finish. Have them write down in a Google Doc or any notes anywhere what they think, right? You can even upload the page to ChatGPT, let it analyze it for you, tell you where you could improve. I will tell you that 9 times out of 10, you've got a messaging or a copy issue rather than a graphic design or a beautiful layout issue, right? So something to think about. Then you need to test. So we've talked about auditing, we've talked about getting new blood in, and now you need to test. How do you test? Well, spend a little bit of money, put behind something that is testable. Decide what it is, right? If it's an email, maybe it's a subject line, A/B test that. If it is the click-through rate, right? Maybe it's the click-through rate, the CTR, check that. But decide what your metric for the test is going to be. Make sure you have your constants and only one variable at a time so that you can really get a good A/B test and decide what's working and what's not. That testing must be driven by data. You must have complete and total visibility to the funnel from start to finish. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean from ad to conversion and everything in between, you need to see very clearly. If your ads are not plugged into a Shopify or something that has a direct API integration, then chances are you're going to have inaccurate data and not be able to make correct decisions. Maybe your AOV is going to be off, your average order value, or your add to cart to purchase ratio is not going to be correct, right? Things to think about. Watch it daily. Watch it hourly. No joke. Most people say, oh, let it run for 30 days. Do not let it run for 30 days. Let it run at most for 24 hours initially, and then forget about 24 hours. Just make sure it's promising, and then let it run for 3 to 4 days. By then, you should have more than enough data if you're clear on everything that you have, okay? Next, I want you to look at it at a micro and a macro level, right? So micro meaning on a daily basis, weekly basis, and then macro, back it out, look at it at the month, by the quarter, things of that nature. Because if you have a test, this test is going to be run for a short period of time. You're trying to fix something. It gets promising, then you put more money behind it. You make sure that it maintains and holds, and then you can scale, add more money, right? I think the biggest thing here, the biggest takeaway is don't freak out. Like when you freak out or you lose sleep or you don't take care of yourself, that's when things just crumble, right? So make sure that you are staying calm, working through things systematically, treat people around you with kindness, patience. Really, if someone has a problem and they don't know how to fix it, that's a problem. If someone has a problem or something's broken and they come up with 4 or 5 different solutions, which is kind of how we work, then you're on to something. If that goes on for a long amount of time, 30, 45 days, like maybe it's time to think about a new partner, right? But ultimately, we've all got to treat each other with kindness and respect. And that's what I think we do, and that's what our clients do, and I love our clients, every single one of them, right? So thank you so much for listening in. I hope this helped you on your journey to figure out how to fix things when everything goes wrong and the sky is falling. I'll see you next time, guys. If you need any help, just check us out over at c4social.com. Bye.